Sheesh. Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misha Banks and I know I've been away for a while, but I'm finally back with a book review. A book, I literally finished reading this book maybe 5 minutes ago, and I thought before I lose the nerve and while the story is still very fresh in my mind, let me quickly get a recording. But first, let's take a look at how the last few pages of this book went. Check it out. We're talking about Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Dreamcount. It is her latest book that she released in 2025, so this year. It's very new. It's actually been out for a couple of months and I got it late because this is our November book club read for me and my book club. So a little backstory, I wasn't too keen on it because I had seen a lot of reviews on social media and heard people talking about it, and I felt like no one was really giving me anything like, oh, you know, great, or saying anything too great about this book. But after reading it, I want to be that person to tell you that this book is great and I see the magic. I believe in Chimamanda. I believe in Black stories. I believe in Black women. So if you are interested in anything that I just mentioned, these 3 points, then you will like Dreamcount too. So let me set the premise. This book is based off of 3 ladies, 3 Black ladies. The first one is Chiamaka, second one is Zikora, the third one is Kariatu, and the fourth one is Omelogo. So each of these ladies are connected with one another in some or other way. But mainly the storyline is made up of 2 things in my view. The first thing is made up of Chiamaka and her dream count, hence the name of the book, her dream count. It's where she is detailing all the men that she's basically been with in her life and where she is currently. So in the book, you hear her retelling and going through this and saying, oh, there was also this guy, and there was this guy, and there was that guy. Chiamaka has 2 chapters in this book. The first chapter is Chiamaka. The last chapter of the book is also by Chiamaka. But I really think personally what makes this book really good is the story of Kadiatu. That is in the 3rd chapter of the book. Kadiatu experiences something so painful, and not once but twice. When she comes to America and she's working, she's got a great job, able to provide for her daughter, but unfortunately, at the hand of a guy where she works in a hotel, a white man sexually violates her, and she then goes on to detail everything that happens thereafter. It is a powerful story of what happens after a violation, your thoughts, not wanting to make a big deal out of it, wanting to get justice, not wanting to explain it to your friends and your daughter, the embarrassment, the shame that the victim often has. And I think this book was such a powerful retelling of that. So after the book, you know, we get the author's note, and in it you get a sense of why she wrote this book. And it's actually interesting to hear that Chimamanda was writing based off of a story that there actually is a real story of a woman who worked in a hotel and went through something like this, and it all happened, and eventually, you know, the case was dropped, which is what you see in the book. But you know, she's kind of retelling it for us to really understand and not forget this woman's story through the character of Kadiatu. powerful testimony over there, and I really think her story carries and connects the other women so well, because once you hear Kadiatu's story, it kind of then becomes that. In my mind, I couldn't forget her story. I could not forget it. It felt like Kadiatu's story more than Chiamaka's story. Let me touch briefly actually on some of the themes I picked up from the different women and the main things that stood out. I spoke about Chiamaka. Chiamaka has a relationship with a gentleman called Darnell, a narcissist maybe. I'm not one to diagnose people, but a man who's really all about himself. A man who calls himself an intellect. We all know those kind of guys where, you know, they're just too cool for anything. And also what's sad is that you can tell that Darnell didn't like her. Darnell does not like Chiamaka, and what she continues to do, and even in the last chapter I got the sense, she's very like, she wants to be accepted, she wants to be loved, she wants to fit in. So with all of her partners, you kind of see her change and mold into whatever her partner wants. So much to reflect on as women when it comes to her story. Then we get into Zikora. Zikora is pregnant. She dates a guy called Kwame. She thought she's met a really great guy, only to get pregnant and realize that boom, this guy and her are not in the same page. So that one was quite a sad one to witness. But I loved, as a mother, I loved the story of giving birth and how she narrated her relationship with her mother when she was giving birth, and life after, and how her mother held her up. And there's actually a moment that she says here, her mother, it's on page 146, she says she says her mother was becoming a person before her eyes. And I really agree with this. I think that for a lot of women, especially those with close relationships with their mom, something happens when you have a child. It's almost like you reach a new level with your own mother, and you're able to understand her differently. And especially when they show up for you and they care for you, even though they're still your mother that was always maybe hard on you growing up, but the love and something shifts when you see them as a grandmother. And Zikora goes through that. In Kadiatu's story, it is the story of her sister Binta and her husband, who later passes away, and her daughter Binta, who she has with her husband, and her boyfriend, I forgot his name, but her boyfriend is the one who takes her to America. I love that story. It is how she is then firstly violated when she's working still back home, and then she travels to America, and then she experiences something horrific, like I've mentioned. So I don't want to give too much away. I do want you to go out and read it. And then we have Omeloko. Omeloko's interest point for me was her corruption. She, you know, she works in an environment where she sees corruption. So she uses corruption and she starts being corrupt herself. But she says she's doing it for good, even though she's taking money from people, from pensioners and all these things. And she becomes a Robin Hood, you know, to her people and giving them money back. And yeah, that's just kind of the book. And in essence, I would give this book an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really good book. If you are interested in anything that's got to do... My voice is fading away because I'm shouting. I need a microphone. I think when you read this book, it is a testament to the lovers and the relationships that we go through as Black women, and how much sometimes we accept less than, and also the pressure that is on the Black woman to find a man. Yo, that is insane. Like there was a point where I was tired. I was like, hey, whoa, really? Another woman trying to find love. And it's also sad that none of them actually found the love they were looking for. I hoped that they were gonna get that. Thank you so much for coming along on this video. I promise I'll be back very soon with another book review or another conversation we can have together. If you read this book and you have any thoughts about it, please drop me a comment. Tell me what you thought about Dreamcount. Did it make you think of your own Dreamcount? I wonder. It did make me think of mine. It made me think of like similar instances that I've gone through in my life. So tell me what comes up for you when you read this book, and if you're gonna get it, tell me. Just share anything you can about this book or any book you are currently reading right now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.